Hi there. Thanks so much for joining the Event Planner Mastermind. I'm Jess. I run the Event Planner Mastermind group. We are a group of about close to 1,000 event industry professionals, and we get together, we share information, share knowledge, and really grow our careers and grow the profession by being together and being in community. So, happy that you're here in whatever capacity, however you found us. And we're going to talk today about burnout within the event industry. So, I've burned out, I've been in the event industry for about 15 years now, and I've burned out twice. And I didn't know what it was the first time. I just thought that, my perfectionist tendencies got the best of me. And then the second time, I was much more aware of what was happening. So let's talk a little bit about it and what you can do to catch it if you are new to this concept or feeling something's off, but you don't know what, and ways that manageable, actionable ways that you can feel more empowered to take those next steps around your mental health and making sure that you have what you need as a human and an individual, managing your career. So let's talk about it. Burnout. We can say it a lot. Can become a buzzword about what burnout is and what it isn't. But there are some symptoms that you can show physically. And then there are some emotional symptoms that can come up for you, as well as behavioral symptoms when you are either in the process of burning out or you've been burned out for a while, but you just think it's a normal thing because our industry just accepts it. And so I want to put some framework around what burnout can mean for you and how you can take those next steps to put yourself into recovery because that's truly what it is. So, those physical symptoms can feel like fatigue, you're really tired, you're exhausted, um, changes in your appetite. Um, I know that when I was burned out, I did not eat a lot. My appetite really dwindled, which was difficult because then that sets into motion a lot of other issues like headaches, digestive issues, and can turn chronic really easily. So those are some physical symptoms if you're noticing that within your body. And then emotional symptoms. These are really what were coming up for me and some of my colleagues that I've talked to about it, but feeling really overwhelmed. Um, and getting to the point where you feel overwhelmed and it's just like this freeze flight kind of feeling, where you've been doing the thing, you've been planning something for such a long time that now it's becoming overwhelming to the point where like you can't even make a catering call, right? That's not normal. And so acknowledging that, is again part of the process to recovery. Also feeling really cynical, or detached from your decisions or from your team, feeling really irritable, um, and feeling hopelessness around maybe your job, the project, in ways that feel deeper than just like, oh, I can't figure this out, but something, deeper of like possibly a depression or, an emotional trigger that is deeper than just, oh, I don't know how to do this. Um, and then the third is behavioral. So, an increased procrastination. I know I fell into this category my first time around. It's just like everything became so overwhelming and it just felt like I couldn't get through what I needed to get through. And then that just spurred more procrastination. Not feeling able to talk to others, socially withdrawing, difficulty concentrating or, communicating, changing in sleep patterns, that's a big one, anxiety. So, if you're feeling this, you're not alone. If you are feeling any of these physical symptoms, these emotional symptoms, or behavioral symptoms, you are not alone. And if it feels chronic or it feels progressive, there are things that you can do to help, yes, manage, and we're going to talk about that, but also to seek help and to seek treatment is really serious too. And as event professionals, we are type A personalities across the board. We'll do whatever it takes to get it done. However, not taking care of yourself or pushing yourself past your limit is really um, career it can be career ending for some people. Um, and you lose the light and the love that you have for events. So we don't want to do that. So if you're feeling or recognizing any of these burnout symptoms within your body, or other people might be mentioning things to you just one off, please take steps to recover yourself, and it's really serious. If you're not finding the support within your work structure, maybe think about ways that you can navigate your career in different ways within events. Because the biggest way that I found steps into recovery was taking action for myself. No one was going to tell me, "Hey, Jess, take this week off," or "Hey, Jess, you know, clock out after 5. Don't look at your computer for a couple hours." I pushed myself to the point where I couldn't even open my computer or my laptop, right? And so the first steps to recovery is to acknowledge the problem. Admitting that you're experiencing burnout to yourself is the first step. And then you can bring other people in, but really acknowledging it for yourself that, wow, I've really hit a point where I am burned out. I cannot go any further. Um, and that's the first step to your recovery process. Second is to prioritize your self-care. So there are times when I am just feeling really down in the dumps and I'm like, have I had water today? Have I hydrated myself? Have I moved my body? And have I done something to like lift my mood? So think about ways that you can prioritize your self-care in ways that work for you. So your physical health, making sure that you're, getting active body movements is really important. Your mental health is really important. So affirmations are so huge. How we talk to ourselves, how other people talk to us, establishing some techniques. I love meditation. I've really taken that on. I've become a meditation trainer over the past couple years. Deep breathing, yoga, anything that can connect your mind and your body is really important because we tend to just ignore the warning signs. And it's kind of like that wily e. coyote, like you're going down the highway and all these barriers are coming up, like stop, stop, stop. But sometimes we just can't tell within our own body what we need to do. So that's really important to, you know, make sure that you're getting movement, making sure you're talking to other people, not in a way that's like venting about, your issues, but in a way that's like, hey, I'm noticing these things about myself. I don't I don't want it to get worse. What are some things that I can do? And um, talking to others, talking to people that you feel are safe people to talk to is really important. I know that I've talked to people in my journey through my burnout, and some people are just like, well, that's just how it is. You need to, build a stronger backbone or whatever. But we are past that point in in the world going through COVID-19 pandemic that you can reach out to people. You can get the mental health support that you need in a way that we couldn't before 2020, or that was widely understood. So if you are to that point and you need that mental health and that emotional health check in with people who love you, who you love, um, and get yourself into some hobbies and finding activities that bring you joy. So that's really important for your self care. Boundaries. This is the third one. Boundaries is huge. Learning to say no and establishing clear boundaries between work and personal life. We tend to get, work and personal life jumbled, especially in events when you're you're going nights, you're going weekends, you're planning days. Events are during days, events are into the morning hours. Um, and you might be planning simultaneous events over top of each other. It's really important that when I this is speaking from my experience, when I get into that really high rush, high speed season, that I keep my schedule as solid as I can to what I need for my mental health, my emotional health, and my physical health. Not saying that's gonna work perfectly every time, and it doesn't have to, but being mindful of like, "Hey, I need to just check out of this meeting? Do you need me for this? Can it just be an email? Those types of things are really important. The next is time management. So evaluating your workload, seeing if you can bring other team members in. How can you get help and delegate when possible? And that's up to you to communicate. People are not going to be able to read your mind. You need to know what is past your point and do it before you're past your point. And talk to others and delegate when you need it. Next is seeking support, talking to friends that you trust, family that you trust, having a mental health care professional to talk about how you're feeling is so critical and so important. I know not everyone can afford that financially or have that feeling of, if I go talk to a mental health person, does that mean that I'm crazy or, mentally unwell? No, that just means that you need to talk to someone. That's all that means. We can become overthinkers and get everything stuck up here. And once we have the ability to communicate out, things just feel less big. We tend to make things big. I'm an overthinker. But then there are some times when things are actually really big and I minimize them because I don't want to talk about it. So it helps on both sides. The next is to take breaks. Take short breaks throughout your day that you can prevent burnout and improve focus. Going outside, taking a walk. I like to play solitaire sometimes to get my brain working in a different way. Ways that you can take a mental break and just enjoy reading, listening to music, meditating, all those things are really great. The next is to reevaluate your priorities and consider if your current career path aligns with your goals and your visions, right? I think that's really important to think about. We just get into the rut of like, well, I've always done this and I've always done it this way. But is that true for you and how you see your career? And the last is to seek professional help, seek mentorship. If your burnout feels really severe, taking a step back, taking a sabbatical. I've known a lot of event folks who have taken sabbaticals and felt even more charged when they come back, or seeking professional guidance on your career path is really important. And I do offer mentorship if anyone's interested in that. If you find yourself interested in that, please talk to me. But always remember that recovery takes time and it's really important to be patient with yourself. Join groups, join communities like ours so you can be in communication with others and celebrate your small victories. So, thanks so much for joining our chat. Again, I'm Jess. I run the Event Planner Mastermind. You can find us over on LinkedIn under Event Planner Mastermind Group. Or you can always connect with me on LinkedIn and we can get you plugged in. So thanks so much for joining. Bye, everyone.